it's just so close to home.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to make it sound like you're or somebody would take advantage of a bad situation, but we're talking tens of thousands of homes that were burnt down. Will this loosen up? Is there an opportunity for those people to move up here maybe, and whether it's temporary housing or?
I'm so glad you asked that question. There's so much going on.
I've been thinking about that for days now.
You know what? Yeah, and there's a lot of different perspectives that I'd love to touch on. So that being said, I mean, they're saying already, just rough numbers, over 25,000 people displaced from their homes.
Right.
And the tough part is all the surrounding areas are very saturated. It's not like there are just a bunch of rentals sitting available in, Santa Monica or any of the adjacent communities. So, and then you also have Altadena, let's not forget, which,
Wiped out.
is also kind of equidistant to Santa Clarita. So, of course, if you're living in the Palisades, Santa Clarita may be, far and hot and all those things.
It's a
but
desert. Yeah.
I've actually already gotten several phone calls from clients of mine whose family members have been displaced, and they want to be close to their kids. So they are looking at rentals and coming up here. But one of the big hot topics of conversation right now is people taking advantage and price gouging over the cost and charge of rentals, right? Because of supply and demand. Please know that there's a difference. So if you have a rental property that you had listed prior to January 7th and you hiked up your rates more than 10% since, that's actually illegal. Now, please compare apples to apples though, because if you see a listing that's perhaps offered for $15,000 a month, but normal rent on that home is $5,000 a month, read the fine print, because that doesn't necessarily mean they're price gouging. That could be a true Airbnb that's only charging $300 a day,
Right.
which is really comparable and right now even probably cheaper than some hotels, but they're willing to guarantee that property, give up their holiday rates and things like that to hold that available for these folks to help them out for 1 to 2 years possibly.
All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial. We come back. I want to hit on this stuff pretty hard today, so people know what's available to them, what they can do, and that kind of thing. So, anyhow, you're listening to Trending SUV here at KHTS, AM 1220, FM 98.1. Bri King in studio with us. We'll learn more about real estate, the real estate market, what's available here in Santa Clarita in a few minutes.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
Are you looking for a college education that is wholeheartedly committed to Christ and Scripture? If so, we hope you'll visit us at the Masters University. Located in Placerita Canyon, TMU is a liberal arts university that equips men and women for lives of faithfulness to the Master, Jesus Christ. TMU offers more than 150 academic programs, 18 athletic teams, and opportunities to participate in music ensembles and theater productions. Scholarships are available. Learn more and schedule a personal tour at masters.edu/visit.
This is the moment. Are you ready?
Yes, Doctor.
Elevate me.
Now? Right here?
Yes, yes. Raise the platform.
Oh, the platform. Oh, that. Yeah.
And now, back to Trending SCV. It's the KHTS Morning Show.
I said to them, get a flamethrower, get them out of here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that salt. They still sell that salt gun?
Oh, you know what? They do. They do.
I watched you guys sit around with that. They got a beer in their hand and a shotgun. Really? This is really exciting, you guys. What is wrong with you people?
Yeah, it's Trending SCV. We have Bri King, and we're trying to look for a new home for this spider in the studio.
Yeah, so if you want to come by and pick it up for Menji, I really don't care where he stays, as long as he stays off my screen.
How's his FICO score?
We're good. So, anyhow, yeah, one of the things I noticed when I was reading the articles about some of those homes that burnt, some people weren't really feeling bad for them because they're going, oh, these people have money. But a lot of those homes, I didn't know this, but they were passed down in the family, generational.
Absolutely. And you can't judge an entire zip code based upon, generational wealth, or everyone has different circumstances. So like you mentioned, many homes, especially Altadena, Pasadena, have been in the family for many generations. And something really cool to mention to you guys, FHA has rolled out an FHA 203H loan. So if you or a family member has lost their home in the fires, they can literally qualify for another property, zero down, up to $1.2 million, FHA,
Really?
and they will not get hit for their other departing residents while they're working through the insurance
That's
claims.
interesting.
And icing on the cake to that, if you had an adult child living there as well, they can do the same. So if they were living with their parents and they can qualify, they can go buy a condo or a townhouse, and now both of them can move on until they can.
But they've
rebuild.
had to lose a property.
Yes, or major to the
Right,
yes,
gotcha.
it shouldn't be
Because I don't see anything, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, because we're in LA County like they are. Even though they've said they've relaxed the permit, I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think it is. It's going to be months before they go through those homes and clear them, because you don't know if your body's in there, you don't know if people are missing, you don't know any of that. And then not only that, I guarantee, knowing how California is, all the toxic waste stuff and where that stuff could be. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, this is going to be months. I mean, you have folks from the Ventura fires that are still not rebuilt yet, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So FEMA, from what I'm told, will clear the slabs, but obviously they have to get investigations underway. For us to do a flip on a red tagged fire damaged home, not even complete total loss, that takes a minimum of 8 to 12 months right now. So I would say they're at least 1 to 2 years out.
I agree with you. Matter of fact, it's funny you say that. Talking to somebody yesterday, I said it's going to be 3 years before these people are able to move into or almost move into homes.
And a
if
lot
they
of
start
people don't want
now.
to rebuild because they don't feel that the community will ever be the same. And running
No.
a project, when you're 75 years old, do you really want to build a house from the ground up? So, everyone's taking this differently, and we're just trying to give them some grace. That's why we've been a little quiet at Prime Real Estate, just waiting to see what people really do need, as opposed to just throwing a bunch of donations together really quick. I really want to let the dust settle for these people.
Not to. I think it's an opportunity now for some people who have a lot of land to kind of maybe put some rentals on that land, even if it's temporary.
Oh yeah, the
to help
ADUs.
out.
I mean,
Yeah.
figure if they're running the way you figure the math. If that pencils is, how much would an ADU run to install? You've got to make sure the sewer lines and everything are capable of handling both properties.
Right.
And if that's $200,000 to build that, then what would it equal in rent for you?
Yeah. So there's a lot of and I know you're very business minded in that light, so you could help people make those kind of decisions. There's a guy behind me. I haven't seen him in 20 years, and he's got 10 acres back there. It's kind of landlocked between my house and the neighbor's house. And I've always said, man, we're not far from the college. I'd like to put a whole bunch of those, 500 square foot ADUs.
Amazon houses,
Yeah,
they're
there you go,
kind of
drop
cool.
it off. If I order it today, I can have it tomorrow. So
Exactly.
just need a bunch of Amish guys to show up and put it together.
Yeah.
So, but there's all kinds of going to be opportunities, and not just opportunities to benefit from this, but you are it's not just you're helping other people too, because to your point, there's no homes around there for them to move into.
No. So if you do have a rental property and you can, help someone, you can even go to Ashley Furniture at 0% interest and go furnish a rental for them. But again, you want to make sure all the numbers pencil. So if you ever have questions and you want to know if something like that pencils, like I said, we've built our own Airbnbs kind of from the ground up to offer this, and I'd be happy to give you advice. At no charge.
It's I hate to use this term because it's old, but it truly is thinking outside the box. It's thinking a little more creatively as to, how you can help, how you can all benefit, because it's okay for you to make money.
It's okay, exactly, but as long as you're coming from a good place, to help as opposed to take advantage, of course.
Yeah, I could see that. So I'm sorry, I'm having fun. Anyway, all right, but here in the Valley as a whole, it's funny. At a school board meeting last night when we were talking demographics and where things are at and what's going on, and some of the developers just kind of started to slow roll some stuff, which would mean that if the people are moving out, if you've got people that are moving, some of these older homes, or some of these homes are going to be worth a little bit more money because there's nothing coming up quickly to fill those spots, right?
So we are down. It's actually really great news right now as far as the real estate market goes. So typically the real estate market starts to pick up with inventory after Super Bowl Sunday. Believe it or not, that's when all the holiday stuff gets put away and the sellers go, okay, it's springtime. March is when we normally get really busy. But my phone is hopping, and so are all of the other agents that I have spoken with recently. So inventory is going to start to pick up. I'm seeing a lot of folks moving out of state because the cost of living is less, once they retire. So I'm seeing a lot of inventory on the horizon. Now, a lot of buyers I've noticed are very eager because they're nervous about the demand that may be coming with some folks looking to buy here as well. So I'm seeing multiple offers overnight as of just this last weekend. And also interest rates came down about 1/4 point yesterday, so we'll take it.
Well, you're really a positive. You're getting a positive perfect storm.
Oh yeah,
Coming on the
2025 is going to
horizon.
be very, very good for real estate in Santa
Wow.
Clarita, in my opinion.
God, it's just amazing. So, here in this valley, do you know what the inventory is right now?
Absolutely. We have 427 homes on the market as of today. In November, we had 591.
I know,
So
yeah.
a lot has moved, and a lot pulls off the market during the holidays, and now will start to come back. So keeping an eye on homes that have been sitting on the market, there may be some room, to negotiate, and take a look at the stuff that's on hold. You may not be able to see that on Redfin, so you call your realtor, and we can tell you what's expired or what's on hold and maybe coming back.
See, if I talk my wife into it the way you're talking, I mean, I go ahead and clean up my house and rent that thing out. Move
I'll
into
help
a-
you do
a
it.
Double wide the backyard,
Absolutely. Well, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
don't need much more than that. So.
If you can help somebody out, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just amazing. All right, young couples still, because we're seeing businesses leave the state too.
I believe it.
And you and Fred Arnold, I was talking to Fred about it too. And we're talking about interest rates and what it costs to be in one of these places. I don't know how they're doing it. You heard that Facebook and a few of the others are laying off a bunch of people, and it's not laying off because business is really bad. In some cases, AI has taken a big chunk out of human resources, if you would.
It has, but it's funny. Even this last weekend, we have a lot of fun apps and things in real estate, and they say, "Oh, sure, you're approved for your showing," and then I get there with my buyers, and I call the agent and I say, "Hey, we're setting an offer." "Oh, that sold an hour ago." Well, the computer doesn't know that, so it's always good to pick up the phone and talk to a real person.
Although that's not a bad problem to have.
No,
right?
no, it was a good sign. I mean, it instilled sense of urgency in all of us.
Hey, somebody that does these videos for homes. I was curious that she was talking to her about her business and what she had going on. Where these virtual walkthroughs, if you would, happen now, are you finding the need for open houses not as much needed anymore?
Oh, absolutely. No, open houses, believe it or not, and my advice on this is always evolving. But open houses are really, it's amazing. This last weekend I had 5 open houses. I had everything from 2 to 12 people come
houses.
through. Yes, we were hopping all weekend, and every buyer was serious, running numbers, ready to go. It wasn't just the neighbors peeking in to see how they decorated. So it's definitely worth doing open houses right now for agents and for clients.
Right, and it just again, the real estate market is just amazing to me because it's all tied together. Now you've got a new president coming in on Monday. There's some excitement as to where the mortgage market, the mortgage rates are going to go, and what he's going to do to kind of help people get into homes, get home ownership back on track again. I mean, how are you in the real estate business? How are you guys feeling about that?
I feel very optimistic. What I would like to say, like another cool way for somebody to get their foot in the door, if you have kids, for example, and they can't really afford rent, but they're looking to buy, they've got they're out of college, they have a new career. A really cool idea is you can buy from 1 to 4 units, FHA, with 3.5% down. So you could technically partner with your kids, get a duplex or a triplex or even a fourplex. Maybe it's not going to be, in Beverly Hills. It may be in an area that's up and coming, but have them live in one of the units, rent the others. That offsets their mortgage,
yeah.
and then they get their foot in the door, and they could obviously sell it or rent it out later.
That's a very common practice on the East Coast, where you have the townhouses that are together, the duplexes,
Yes.
and even the triplexes. We used to call them, triple deckers, and same thing. The owner lives downstairs and rents the other 2 off. Hang tight, because I got a lot more I want to talk to you about. You're listening to Trending SUV here at KHTS, AM 1220 FM, and 98.1. Bri King with us. We're getting local real estate. Well, actually, LA County-wide real estate market update. Be right back. Valley. I've got Bri King with us here in the studio, talking about some of the options available to you, maybe to help your kids, relatives, loved ones who've been burned out of their homes and need a place to stay. And you and I were talking during the break. It is going to be a few years. I know that sounds like we're not creating crazy here. It's the truth. By the time you get done with everything and the investigations and all, it's going to be a while.
There are so many people that I know of, and like I said, I've just literally been receiving text messages while we were on break from folks who are living with family members with 3 dogs. You know, they need somewhere to stay, and a hotel is not going to cut it. So if you own a rental property, do try to, you know, like I said, fairly find a way to help these people out. But they do need furnished rentals, not just a shell.
Right. So we have. I just did a story this morning about. I think it's Hilton's along with American Express is putting up 20,000. Was it 20,000 nights? Right, 20,000 days that people could stay. And you have to prove that you were burned out and all that other stuff. So, but even that, when you think about the amount of people, 20,000, you got 10,000 people who've been burned out of their homes that can stay, 2 nights? I mean,
well, and that's the thing, though, is, I mean, obviously most people who did have insurance, God willing, have some bucket of money that will cover their stay in an Airbnb or whatnot. But, when you have small kids, living in a hotel is not as fun as it may sound. It's really tough. So, especially if you have pets and things like that, too.
Yeah, 3 dogs. I'm going to take a sidetrack on you for a second. I took everybody for Christmas. You talk about a memorable Christmas like you do. Well, we decided to rent an RV with 4 kids and a dog, and we.
You're brave.
No, I'm stupid. drove all the way across the country. We stopped everywhere so they could see the whole country and all of that, and we went to the Sears Tower. And
would you ever do it again? That's my question.
Are you out of your mind? You couldn't give me enough drugs, booze, anything. There's nothing you could promise me to make me do that again.
No, that seems like a good reality TV show, though.
Isn't it? And we spent that Christmas in the parking lot of a Waffle House.
That's pretty awesome. And you were making fun of me for Cancun.
Well, wait a minute. I was stuck in an RV with kids, but we did the little Christmas tree, like 3-footer, and
that's so cool.
But it was they all remember.
They'll never forget it.
Right?
Exactly.
They complained all the way through, but they'll all remember.
Yep. And just torment your family for memories.
But yeah, there you go. So yeah, being cooped up in that little space though, with the dog and the kids. To your point about the hotel room, yeah, I can't. I did that for 3 weeks. I wanted to shoot myself when I got home. So.
Oh yeah.
And I looked at my wife and said, if I ever decide to do this again, grab that baseball bat to beat me over the head with it. Don't let me do it. So, but yeah, it's a tight situation, and on top of that, people have lost a lot of their personal stuff.
Yes.
In these fires, so there's an emotional component to this too.
And another reminder too, I know we all talk about transferring your tax base when you're over 55, but another caveat is that you can take your tax base with you if you decide to purchase a replacement property if you have lost your home, and that tax base can go with you as well if you're a victim of a wildfire.
Wow, that's interesting. That's important and interesting.
Absolutely.
And I had a tax guy on my other show the other night talking about if you've lost everything. I mean, truly, your house is burnt to the ground. How do you prove how much you made, didn't make, and all that other stuff?
That's where you really have to have, your receipts and all of that for your insurance company. They're going to want to see all of your expenses so that you can get reimbursed.
Well, somebody brought up a good point, too, on the show that take a video. Like once a quarter, just walk through the house and just take a video of what's on the walls, what's on the,
closets,
everywhere.
The garage, all of those things.
Exactly.
Yeah, just a lot of the high-value stuff, too.
And get those appraisals updated, on jewelry and things like that as well. If you have a small items policy, it's important to have as well.
And then scan them. No, it was something, because there were people, you saw them with the, stuff tucked under their arms and grabbing paintings. And so we have scanned a lot of our stuff onto a drive that sits, eye height on the wall in the garage. And it's kind of like... you grab that and go. That's really it. I don't need to pull the paintings off the wall. I don't need to go get the paperwork if it's that bad, and just walk out.
Absolutely. And I keep a folder on my cell phone, actually. So I take pictures of things or videos, and I have one that's labeled with our street name. So that way I can go directly to my house, and I have all the photos of everything in one spot. And another one called Important that has, the socials and all that good stuff, just in case you need it.
Do you load that up to the cloud?
I know it's not safe. What do you do?
No.
I can't win, Joe.
I do load it up. I gave up.
I
gave up.
I was going to go with that third redundancy, Okay, it's great that you have the hard drive, but what happens if, you just can't get to that hard drive?
Or somebody else gets the hard drive.
Or somebody else gets it, and the cloud one just is completely off-site somewhere else. Don't have to worry about it.
What you got to make sure you do though is it's just like if you've got titles and all that other stuff on your phone. The only thing I'd say to you is if you put them in a couple places on the cloud, get them off your phone.
Right.
Because if somebody does get your phone and does get into the phone, they have all your information.
They'll never guess my password.
It's password, isn't it?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh no, the best story I have real quick is I was doing years ago I did a lot of computers, and there was one person I won't tell you who it is because they're well known around here, and their password was the name of their dog.
Yeah.
And the dog's picture was on her desk, and the dog's name was on the picture. And anybody who loves their dog that much that's their password.
You want to hear the cutest thing ever that made me fall in love with my husband? I was helping him when we were in high school. He was signing up for COC, and I'm like, I need your password, and it was my name. And I was like, oh. So if you ever want to win points with your
so he's
partner.
your high school sweetheart.
Yes.
Oh, Valentine's Day is going to be fun. We'll have to do a story around this one.
We're excited, yeah.
So anyhow, all right, back to reality. This is not supposed to be a foo-foo show. What was I talking to you? Oh, right, the FHA thing with the kids and what have you. Talking about you can buy up to 4 units.
Yeah, so there's standard FHA loan, so owner occupied obviously. If your kids, like I said, just finished college, they have their first job, but they can't really afford a full home. Maybe they buy a home, you guys help get an equity line, put an ADU on it, and put it in the family trust. You own it 50-50 together, and then that $2,000 a month that they're paying is now paying down equity, plus they have income on the property. And they can go up to 4 units, in order to make that happen.
So you should be doing like a bi-weekly kind of class where people can come into your office and talk about all the options that they have available to them.
There are so many, and we are always, like I said, I work 7 days a week. You could just come to my open house and I'll give you all the details you want.
God bless. But yeah, there's, like I said, I know there's a lot of stuff happening here in the Valley, and a lot of opportunities in the Valley. Okay, what's the hot listing you got now?
Just this morning, I put on a really beautiful turnkey home right up in your neighborhood, Joe.
What time did you load it? 4 o'clock?
That's the idea. I want to have it on your Redfin app the moment you open your eyes. So yes, we have just listed a single-family home off of Shadow Valley Lane in Saugus, at the top of Bouquet Canyon. It is a detached home, absolutely immaculate, hardwood floors, the whole 9. It'll be open Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 3. Above ground spa, balcony, hardwood floors, like I said, updated kitchen, bathrooms. $949 is the price. No mellow, no HOA.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
The no mellow. I want you to know, as a school board member, I always vote against Melrose.
Thank you. I
always.
would too.
What is that? What?
It drives me nuts when they come in with those things. And then there's what's the other one? Oh God, the CDCs or whatever they're called, where
the special assessments.
Oh, those drive me nuts too, and I'm always a no vote.
You know what?
But what is that? No melon? What is that?
No melons.
No melon?
No melons.
Am I
No
hearing?
mellow
You
roots.
can't grow melons.
Mellow
in your
roots.
backyard.
What's a mellow roots?
In essence, it's in my humble opinion, it's another tax. It's a way to help the developer to keep the price of the house down, and you pick it up later on, or as the years go on.
Oh, passing the savings
Am I
on
that
to
far
you.
off?
That's exactly right. But the thing is, depending on how expensive these bonds are, they can go through 2050 right now. And we have some communities where the Melrose tax on top of your property taxes is $8,000 a year. So that's going to affect your resale value because we're talking $400 a month.
Yeah.
Now there are others that are only $100 a month, so you don't even notice that the mellow bond is there. But it usually goes towards schools, fire stations, libraries, parks, things nearby that are needed to expand and grow into these communities.
And I'm not against all that stuff. It's just a matter of how much can you put on people. It's always my argument. When Saugus Union recently went through school bond, I said, this is not the time for this.
I know it. Well, the way they look at it is the builder could sell the house for $1.2 million, or they could sell it for $999.
Yeah.
And then at the 1.2, you have to put more money down. You have to pay higher interest. This way, if you're not living there for 30 years, you divide that cost with the other homeowners.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'll break it real fast, but no, I won't break it fast. You got a place to be?
No, I'm good. I'm here.
You're right here.
We
Okay.
hang out all day.
No, I want to talk about that because, again, people need to realize where this money goes, how it comes in. And all right, we'll be back in a minute. Don't go far. Trending SCV here at KHTS. We'll be right back. Always stuff going on here. Bri King in studio with us today. I'm really appreciating her time, learning a lot about real estate options and things that are coming up right now that could help you not only just make money, but do well So.
That's the key for 2025, right?
Right. So we were talking. People move in here. We were talking about Melrose and how it affects. Look, I'm in my house almost 25 years. So I don't know. Melrose for me may not have been a big deal, but it's money you're spending every year that's supposed to bring the initial cost of the house down, right?
Correct.
But if I'm in 25 years, I've well overpaid what I would have paid just paying full price for the house, wouldn't I?
Well, back when you bought your house, they didn't have Melrose. That theory didn't even exist. So Stevenson Ranch, for example, they had 2 bonds. One of them went away. The other one got voted back in. So they can, fun fact, you can actually pay off your Melrose bond, but it doesn't always necessarily make sense. So that is a phone call that you can make. And if you do pay it off, you are exempt for the remainder of your stay.
So, yeah, I was going to say that. So after, so when you buy the home, you could pay off that Melrose. You don't have to accept it over the years. You can pay it.
Correct. And so, for example, there's a home actually that we just wrote an offer on here in West Creek, Valencia, and the payoff was $78,000. So then you look at it and go, well, I'm not paying interest on the $78,000 on the Mellow bond. Maybe I just put the $78,000 down towards my principal instead. So that's where it's important. And you could actually pay half too if you wanted to, and then that'll take your $300 a month Mellow and drop it down to half.
I would think every little nickel, first of all, helps. That's number
one. Of course. Right? And then when you go to resell it, you get to brag that you're the one neighbor in this fancy new neighborhood with no Melrose. So that's
now they
nice.
don't have to pay. They don't. It doesn't pick up with a new buyer, right?
It does not. No, it runs with each APN number.
Oh, okay. Well, see, this is all stuff that people really don't know, don't understand. I know my wife and I, about just before the pandemic, we were actually thinking about buying a second home, and we were looking around, and there was a couple of people who had their tax bills on the table.
Sure.
Yeah, right, to show you what you were walking into. And when I saw some of these line items on there, I'm going, my God, it's almost as much as the property tax by the time you get done.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting too is there are some folks with Melrose, like I have one in Blackbriar up in Plum Canyon, Saugus. They've got one of the highest Mellow bonds in town, and they're $8,500 a year. So we're talking $600 a month.
Whoa.
But one of the buyers that came into me, he goes, I make a lot per month, but I don't have a lot in savings. So I have no problem paying that Mellow bond because this house I'm able to buy for $800,000 instead of $1 million. I love the higher payment. I have no problem. Now I don't have to come out of pocket more than 3.5% on $800,000, and I have a nicer, bigger, better house. And I'm not paying $1 million in interest either. So
can you pay that? Once you're in it though. Can you ever pay it off?
Yes, you can pay it off when you own it or in escrow.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know how would you figure it, because the Melrose is there.
You have to call. So the phone number is on your tax bill, believe it or not, and they answer quite quickly, and they'll get you an answer usually within about 48 business hours of what the payoff is.
Yeah, but if you have a issue where you can't pay something, you'll be on hold for a lot. But they want their money. Don't you worry.
The payoff line is instant.
They will pick up.
Okay, what about? I know you guys all hate this term, but what about any fixer-uppers around town? I mean, are they still available in this town?
There are a lot of fixer-uppers because Santa Clarita is not getting any younger.
Let me tell you what.
Yes, there are. I think, and the problem is too, again, like I was mentioning, homes that have been sitting on the market 90 plus days, the interest rates went from 5% up to 6.5% from August through now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that being said, some of those sellers were looking at the neighbors' comps thinking that they're worth a lot more money than they are. And a home that's completely original, built in 1985, versus the neighbor's home that's been completely renovated, needs to truly be priced based upon the cost of that renovation.
Right. Yeah,
So-
and I jokingly say, as I know somebody who just did it to a degree, my neighbor did it years ago where he did all these renovations to the house to sell it, and I watched the guy move in, rip out half of them.
Absolutely.
Because it's personal, right? I mean, you walk in that place, okay, it's all new and pretty and everything, but I don't like brown, I like blue. You know what I'm saying?
But neutral always works. I can assure you.
Any
Swiss coffee wins
shade
every
of white
time.
is great. Yeah.
For right now, it is. Yeah, I mean, your shade of blue that you'd pick for your accent wall is probably not going to be chosen by every buyer. So it's just best to take it to neutral. That way they can move in. And the trick is most buyers right now don't have the money to do down payment plus closing costs plus
Right.
renovation. So if you can make it a neutral palette for them,
Yeah.
then they can move in and do things as they can afford it, as opposed to feeling like they just couldn't live with Pepto-Bismol pink.
Yeah, I was going to say with my house, it was a non-starter. It was Pepto-Bismol, and you said that's coming back.
In tile, yes, with the appropriate finishes. Don't go to Dunn Edwards and get Pepto Bismol.
No, not going to happen. I mean, my office is white, or was white. The studio's blue, but the office is white.
But it's a nice blue. It's very neutral. It's technically gray, right?
So, no. My blue in my other studio, dark blue.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I'm a dark blue.
I'm in the dungeon.
Oh, boy.
So, anyway. All right, Bri, how do people get a hold of you if they want to...
You could just go shopping at Ralph's,
Yeah.
and you'll see my phone number.
Albertsons too?
Albertsons, Ralph's, Vons, or just Google me,
She's in the supermarket.
BriKing.com.
Yeah.
I'm a phone call away, and our office is right on Town Center Drive next to Color Me Mine and Glen Ivy Day Spa, so we're always there
Oh,
anytime
nice.
you need us.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, those separators, the thing, you just can't miss her. You just keep looking around.
No, it's great. You feel a little stressed about buying a house. You go get a massage. You come back. You make a
You
decision.
make a decision, or you go to Larson's, have a
Oh,
nice steak,
yeah.
and then come over after.
Oh, wow. Okay, anyhow.